There we go, have it all together now. I'm going to do a burn outside just in case any of that paint wants to make a smell. Looking good. It's a rainy day outside, which means only one thing. I have to do a rainy day project. And since I have lots of sawdust, I got so much sawdust, I should just take it outside and burn it. Rather than burn it, let's say I got lots of wood in here. Everything under the table saw and off the shaper, but I have made a sawdust stove that's been working well for me. It's made out of 2 Christmas popcorn tins. It's worked really well. And you probably saw my video how I put that together. I've got a galvanized chimney going up. I know you're not supposed to use galvanized, but it goes into aluminum and up and out. And the reason I can get away with that is because of the design of the hole out the back. I'll show you that here in a minute. So we are looking at what's left of the last burn. Like I say, this thing is working very well. I have an inner chamber, and you notice that it's 2 knuckles below the top plate, and you'll notice the hole in the center. And I have a way for air to come in the front here, but this is kind of dangerous being sitting on the ground and sawdust right up against it, so I thought I'd make me something new. But what I was getting to is that little hole in the back. That's where the smoke drops down to, and the dimensions of that are the size of the hole in the center of the can. So only a certain amount of air can get through it at one time, causing a great deal of heat right up through the center there, burning from the inside out sawdust. The sawdust is packed in very tightly. So what you see here is what's left of the sawdust plus vermiculite that I put on the top, and that vermiculite keeps the top from burning. It actually is a crust on the top that ends up dropping down in the bottom as it's burning out, but I'll get about 6 hours of heat out of this style of stove. So I wanted to make a little bit larger and a little bit safer. Sorry about the mess in here, but I got lots of sawdust to get rid of. What I have here is what's called a 100-pound container of Freon. Obviously it's empty, the orange barrel. I got this several years ago. I've made a couple of wood cook stoves out of these, turn them sideways, put legs on, put a front in it, put a grill on the top. It works. So the top of the can here, the idea is to cut it in about 1 inch from the edge all the way around. And I'll cut that out with the cutting torch. Then I'll be able to set a round plate right into the center of that. That's removable, obviously, to be able to recharge the cylinder down below. So that'll be next. Why the big hole? Because this has to fit down inside it. Looking at it, with a little bit I'll put on the bottom, so the air will come through the bottom. That'll be sitting right near the top, right where I want it. The next step is to go ahead and cut this I'll take off the pieces here, drill down for my hole, so this will actually be the bottom, these will be the feet that hold it up. Then I'll be cutting out a big portion here. That's next. Now, making sure the tank was empty, I did cut off the top. The next thing, I've got a drill bit the size of my pipe, so I'll go down through the center there, cut that out. Like I say, this is going to be the bottom. So I'll do that and be right back with you. So I skillfully cut the bottom off of this thing using my chop saw. I just had the blade cutting as I turned it slowly. I had it marked so I could stay on track. So this is the top of it here where the sawdust is loaded. So what I've done with the center tube is actually one of those tarp tents, and I cut off the top of one that will fit inside the other. And that will go in the bottom here. And that will keep everything from dropping down that should be burning. This will feed in from the top. This is the bottom, like I said. Pack all the sawdust around it and then pull it out, leaving a tightly packed sawdust center. So I cleaned up the bottom and drilled a hole in the very center. That will get this piece, which will end up, this is inside, line up with that. So I'll get that set inside, see where the depth is, and get that welded in. And I'll show you what's next. So I have that piece welded on. I'll flip it over here. And there's an inlet there for it to fit inside the second chamber. So I'll get this thing, I could maybe do this. See, that fits right and down inside the other. So I have a hole clean through the bottom. I'll just need a ash pan, a large ash pan, larger the better, on the bottom, and I've got one of those. And we're doing good. The thing is to get that screwed in place and find a donor piece of metal for the top. You know, they throw stuff away at work all the time, and I say, yeah, can I have that? What for? It's junk. Well, it's steel. It's never junk. It's a little bit big. I'll have to see how it fits on the barrel, but I'm liking it. I just have two holes I'm going to have to close in. I'm really liking that. After taking that stand off, it has two pieces to be able to attach that to, welded on, no holes in it. So I'm thinking it'll fit on like that. A little bit big though. I might have to cut that out to fit it on there. Okay, here's a secret not too many people know. I have the top I want to cut that for, and I marked it on the outside of the bottom. And the reason is, these are meant to stack on top each other and lock in, so that's the size that will fit the inner lip of the top. Good factoid, huh? So I'll get this cut out. I'll get my center figured out, and I have a cut and torch circle cutter that I'll be using to cut that out, so I should have a nice fine. So finding the center on a circle, I'm using my circle maker. And basically, I'm setting my screwdriver on the line and then scratching around as I go. So I'm going to go around the line, setting my screwdriver on the line and then scratching with my scratcher. I didn't have black mark or anything, make it easy. I could have stuck that in where the pencil's supposed to go and done the same thing from the other end, but this is finding the center. So right inside what you see here, I'll go to macro here, you see cut in around the edge would be the center right here. So I'll center punch a line right here, and then I'll set my cutting torch circle pattern maker into the punch mark and be able to cut the thing around into a nice circle. So here's my cut and torch circle maker, circle pattern maker. You set that in the hole, and actually it's just been punched. And then put your cutting torch in there and carefully follow the line. It has two metal wheels to help guide it around. Obviously, this is a two-handed project with gloves. Luckily, it's a larger diameter than the last one I did, which was so short that... Sorry, the battery went dead when I was explaining how I was going to cut this out, so while the battery charged, I did go ahead and cut it with the cutting torch. Like I say, I did have my center marked, was able to put in my circle cutter for the cutting torch and cut that out. Okay, so it's update time once again. I got the back piece off of that drum. I've got my barrel drilled out for the exhaust, and I found a 2-inch water pipe, and then got the conduit connectors, and I'll be able to put that in the hole and attach it inside the two containers. So inside here, that's where the exhaust is going to smoke, is going to come out. And I'll have to find me a second container for the smoke to go into before I exhaust it to the outside. Oh, perfect fit. Well, for the hole size anyway. It's a little bit big, but I'll keep stuff away from it, I guess. And I can let the air go through the holes, come up through the center to feed the fire. This just might work. That'll get it up off the floor enough. I shouldn't have to worry about sawdust getting all over that, because anything that falls inside will drop onto the metal. It should be fairly cleanable. I did find this piece of metal out back. It is 6-inch. That means I should be able to get a 6-inch reducer to a 3-inch or maybe 4-inch, and then just a plain cap on the bottom. I'll cut that at 10 inches, cut the hole at the bottom. The reason I'm going to use that is that way I can drop a lit piece of newspaper down that pipe there to get the draft drawing up the chimney, because right now it's very slow to pull the smoke out, just because it has to drop over the edge and down to that inlet pipe, and that isn't a whole lot of suction. So I'll get those pieces tomorrow, and I'll get this cut today, and we'll see what's next. Okay, I've got that just set in place with the screw. I still have to get the top and bottom cap. The cap on the bottom will be closed, and then the one on the top obviously will be a 4-inch, maybe a 3-inch reducer from a 6-inch. But it's all coming together. It's going to work. So a quick update, that 2-inch water pipe that I got with the electrical conduit nuts I was able to put on there, but I only used half of it. I didn't need the whole thing. The threaded nuts don't go all the way down to the center and tight. But I did get my cap, and I've cut it out to fit around that nut. And before I fit it in and don't want to take it back out, I thought I'd give you a quick video of that. I'll get that put on, and I've got the reducer for the top also. But before I can rotate that in place, because of the lip edges here, I'm going to get all those put on while it's... Okay, that fit on there better without that other piece. So I might do the same thing on the bottom. It's having a little bit of an issue fitting inside. I'll just tap that other ring down and around there and rivet it on. But we are coming together. We've got the exhaust going to be going out there. We've got our inner chamber. That will line up. So the idea, the way it works, is the center hole is the thing that's lit. It heats up the hot plate or metal on top. The smoke rolls around, all the way around, and has to go out that hole back there, which in turn comes into the second chamber where it can cool down, chill out, and go up this 4-inch stack. Because I am only a 2-inch inlet and a little, just a tad over 2-inch outlet, we should still continue to be about a 2-inch draw through the system. It'll work great. Has a very long handle on it, very nice, and obviously this is a look I'm looking for, so I'll be repurposing this. It's kind of rusty. It's seen its last hamburger, so we'll repurpose it. Cost me $1.99. Can't go wrong. Okay, I've got that welded on. I'll have the hinges back here. The way that'll work is like that. So that way it's not poking straight at me. I can put on whatever I want to put on to cook by and still be able to manage to open it. I think that worked out well. I know this isn't all that hot, but oh man, maybe it is. But it is heating up that water also. Loving that.